Hey quilters, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kristen with ICStarsQuilting.com. In today's video, I'm going to share with you the 7 ways that you can make a better quilt. And I am very, very happy to have you here today. I'm testing out some different glasses frames. These are from a company called ZINFF. So if you're in the market for some fun, spunky, colorful glasses frames, go ahead and check out that link in the description box below. And there's even an exclusive coupon code there to get you a little bit more saving. I like them. I think they're kind of spunky. I think they're kind of fun. Okay, let's dive into the 7 secrets to making a better quilt. These are my tried and true tips, ways of doing things that I have done for years and years that help people get better at quilting faster, okay? So tip number 1 is this: accuracy matters. I know. I'm coming like right out the gate with a tip that not many of you are gonna want to hear, so please stick with me for the rest of the tips, but I need to tell you this. Accuracy matters. If you're being really loosey-goosey with your cutting and you're being really loosey-goosey with your sewing and your seams and all of that, it's not going to come together in the end the way that you are wanting it to, okay? You can't do whatever you want and still expect the cake to turn out exactly like the photo, right? Which brings me to number 2, cutting matters as well, okay? You need to be good on cutting. There's different products that you can use to help you get the best job possible, okay? Now listen, I am not a promoter of having every single tool that's on the market at your disposal all the time. What really works is still the same simple tools. Have a good sharp rotary cutter. Make sure that you're using accurate quilting rulers, okay? If you want to make it as easy as possible on yourself. Now there's also other little things, like if you have a hard time with your ruler slipping while you're cutting, to get those little sandpaper dots. And I'll put a link down in the description box down below to all of my favorite quilting tools to keep that ruler from slipping on the fabric, okay? That is going to be the foundation of your quilt. So you really want that strong, right? You want good accurate seams and good accurate cutting. Another trick with cutting, if maybe half square triangles are not your best thing and sometimes you find that they are not perfectly square after you're done with them, size up a little bit and then trim down. Okay, that means making it bigger than it needs to be, then getting your little even up, square up ruler, whatever you have, and cutting it down to the right size. It's not going to be, oh, I spent an extra 2 seconds trimming that block right there and I just wish I had that time back. No, okay, you're going to be overall happier with the end of your quilt, right? And that's what we want. So this also works on quarter square triangles and any of your blocks in general, okay? Make it just a little bit bigger than it needs to be and then you can trim it up. The next step is to make a test block. Perhaps you don't want to go and cut into all of your really good fabric because this is a new skill, a new block that you're making, a new technique that you're doing. And you know, let's be honest, fabric is kind of expensive, right? So if you don't want to cut into all of that gorgeous fabric and you just kind of want to test something out, make a test block. This is really good for your scrap fabric too, okay? Pull out some scrap fabric that you've already used on another project. Okay, so I heard this a lot growing up and I'm going to take this wisdom and I'm going to give it to you now, okay? The things that you practice are the things that you get good at. Okay, quilting is exactly that. So try making a test block, see how things go. That's also a good spot to figure out where you're going to make your mistakes. And that brings me to my next secret, which is this. You're not going to get through a quilt top without making a mistake. Even the most seasoned of quilters out there makes silly mistakes, sometimes not so silly mistakes, and that's okay. So let me give you this secret. I want you to see your seam ripper as something that is a really useful tool, as useful as your rotary cutter, right? Super useful. You would never hate on your rotary cutter because it makes your job easier. It makes things better. Your seam ripper is exactly the same thing. Maybe you don't want to go and undo a ton of stitches, and I've been there. It sucks, okay? It's just one of those things that we have to go through. So I want you to realize you're gonna make mistakes and you're gonna have to fix them. That's just part of what it is. We want it to be right and we want it to be beautiful. We want it to be something that we're proud of. So chill out on the anger with your seam ripper, okay? Okay, we're gonna go back to another foundational skill here, which is pressing your seams, okay? Pressing your seams, it's important, okay? This isn't like a secret because in every single pattern that you read, it says on there, press your seams. Whether you do it or not is up to you. If you just get into the habit of having your iron on, having it next to you, working out some system to where your brain just automatically sews a seam and then presses a seam, or sews a series of seams, and then, you know, when you're like batching your task, sew a bunch of seams, go over, press a bunch of seams. Doing that will make your quilt better. In this tip, I'm gonna be really honest and open with you because I want you to be open and honest with yourself and the mistakes that you make. I want you to know that the only way that you're going to get really, really amazing quilts is if you continue to make quilts. You learn over time and you get better over time. And the way that I teach my students when I teach quilting is this. I share with them my knowledge when it comes to quilting, okay? I share with them my tips and my tricks, and I share with you my tips and my tricks. Do you know how I learned those tips and those tricks? I've made a lot of mistakes. I have made a lot of quilting mistakes, and I've had to go and undo a lot of quilts, okay? I've had to learn those mistakes through experience. My goal is for you to take the methods that I teach you, put them into practice in your own skills, further your knowledge with a confidence in quilting, and then move forward and learn more. You don't have to be really, really good at something to enjoy it. I can't stress that enough. In any hobby that you really enjoy, you don't have to be amazing at it to enjoy it. Don't let it suck the joy out of you just because your quilt is probably not gonna win first place in an international quilt show. So those are my 7 secrets to making a better quilt. If you have anything that you want to add, please drop it in the comments down below. I would love to know what your secret is for making a better quilt. Until next week, I'm Kristen with ICStarsQuilting.com, and I'll talk to you soon. Hey, here is another tip before you go, okay? I have a class called Modern Quilting Made Easy. I just re-filmed the entire class, redesigned everything. This is my most popular class and I have made it even better, okay? So if you are new to quilting, even if you're like intermediate but not quite comfortable with your skills, this class goes through step by step where you and I make a quilt together, okay? Step by step. It's all video on demand. You can watch at your own pace and sew along with me, and I share all of my tips, the whole quilt making process. So make sure you check out the links down below for Modern Quilting Made Easy 2.0. Sign up for the class and I'll see you inside. Bye.